guys, it's Miss Simpson, and today we are going to talk about metric capacity. So let's take a look on our star chart. So we've all done customary. Now we're doing metric capacity. Notice there is only one form of metric capacity, liters and milliliters. So you can only go in metric. There's only liters and milliliters, one way or the other. Let's talk about the size. What does a liter look like? So the first thing that I think of when I hear liter is like soda. Has anybody ever got those big things of soda? That's like 2 liters. So those big like plastic bottles of soda are 2-liter bottles of soda. A milliliter is just like a couple of drops of water. So if I was to take a few drops of water and put it into your hand, that's like a milliliter. So a liter is like half of one of those big soda bottles, and a milliliter is just a couple drops of water. That would explain why 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. So we could measure so many things. A liter of water, a liter of milk, a liter of soda. Let's see what we would choose for some of these. Now you're noticing this lesson is very similar. I've done the same lesson in the same type of activities for customary, length, volume, weight, and I'm going to do the same for length, capacity, and mass. Same thing with the metric system. So I hope that by now you're kind of getting used to it and you kind of know what you're supposed to do. So let's take a look at this. A soup. If I just have soup in a spoon, 1 scoop, do you think it's 5 liters, 100 milliliters, 100 liters, or 5 milliliters? Think about it. Soup in a spoon. It's definitely not liters at all. So 100 milliliters or 5 milliliters? 5 milliliters would be maybe like a cup of like medicine, like a tiny little cup of medicine. 100 milliliters is what I'm thinking. What about soda in a can? 4 liters. Well, we know that 2 liters is one of those big soda bottles, so it can't be 4 liters. What about 2 milliliters? That's like 4 drops of water. What? No. 350 milliliters or 35 liters. Well, if it's not 4 liters, it's not 35 liters, so I would go with 350 milliliters. I want you to go ahead and do this one, pause the video, and then we'll discuss what you're thinking. Okay, so I hope you unpaused. Water in a pond, it's got to be more than just milliliters. I've got to decide, is it 50 or 500? I would say it depends on the size of the pond. But if I had to guess, I would probably go with 500 if it's a pretty large pond. Did you get it right? Mainly, you need to decide. If it's a small amount, you're going to go with milliliters. If it's a larger amount, you're going to go with liters. Okay, so let's take a look at some conversions. Everybody get out a sheet of paper. We are going to do 4 example problems with each other, and then I'm going to turn you loose to try on your own. So on your paper, I want you to divide it into 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because now you know 4 problems and you're done. Okay, at the top of your paper, sorry guys, my neck is kind of hurting me today. At the top of your paper, I want you to write 4,000 milliliters equals how many liters? So let's take a look. If I'm going to put this into an input-output table, first things first is I've got to draw my input-output table. So the first one I'm kind of going to do with you. The next 3, you're just going to check your answers with me. You guys are getting pretty familiar with these. So first thing is I'm going to put input, output, and I'm going to draw my line. So I've got to find what matches. Well, the cool thing is, guys, there's only one. 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters. And I like to put the whatever is first, I like to put that first. So I'm going to put 1,000 milliliters first. So I'm going to put 1,000 milliliters is 1 liter. So 4,000 milliliters. Notice you have to match up what you're doing. Match it up. 4,000 milliliters equals how many liters. So what do I do to figure that out? I hope you said I find my rule, Miss Simpson. So I think 1 times what gives me 1,000? You know anything times 1 is what? Itself. So that's not a hard question, Miss Simpson. Give me something harder is what you're asking, right? So we've got to multiply by 1,000. So if I did blank, because I don't know how many liters, times 1,000, it's going to give me 4,000. What can I multiply 1,000 by and get 4,000? Well, if I do my zeros trick, I know there are 3 zeros over here. There's 3 zeros over here. So what times 1 will give me 4? I hope you said 4. So 4 liters equal, or 4,000 milliliters is 4 liters. All right, I'm going to write you another example up here, and I want you to do it by yourself. 10 liters equals how many milliliters? Remember, it's the same exact conversion. The same exact conversion. I'll put it over here. 1,000 milliliters equals 1 liter. Same thing. So pause the video and solve the problem. Okay, so you should have unpaused and you should have your answer by now. So I have my input output. This problem starts with liters, so I'm going to start with this 1 liter. 1 liter, and I'm going to put what it equals on the other side. So now I have, what if I had 10 liters? How many milliliters would that be? Well, guess what? I just did the same problem up here. I know my rule is to multiply by 1,000. So if I multiply 10 times 1,000, what am I going to get? Well, I cover up my 3 zeros and I do 10 times 1. 10 times 1 is 10. Now I add those 3 zeros back on and I get 10,000. So 10 liters is 10,000 milliliters. Okay, let's do another one. I'm going to try to get a little bit harder. Let's do 16,000 milliliters equals blank liters. Remember, 1,000 milliliters equals 1 liter. Okay, I want you to solve this problem right here. Draw your input-output table and get started. Pause the video. So you should have unpaused. You should have paused and you should have your answer. Let's check it. So since this starts with milliliters, I'm going to start my input-output table with none less than milliliters. So 1,000 milliliters equals 1 liter. So what if I have 16,000 milliliters? How many liters would I have? I know my rule is multiply by 1,000 because guess what? Today, you don't have to guess. As long as you take your liters, you multiply it by 1,000, it's going to give you your milliliters. I promise you. If you take your liters, which we don't know, you multiply it by 1,000, it's going to give you your answer. So, remember, I have the same amount of zeros. So I don't care about them. Don't care about them. Don't care about them. So what times 1 will give me 16? I hope you said 16. 16 times 1 will give me 16. So to answer your question, 16,000 milliliters is 16 liters. Okay, let's try like one more. Last one. I want to do 14 liters equals how many milliliters? Remember, 1,000 milliliters equals 1 liter. Go ahead, pause the video, come up with your answer, and we'll see if you're right. Okay, so since this problem started with liters, I'm going to write liters first in my input. 1 liter is 1 1,000 milliliters. But Miss Simpson said, you need to know 14 liters. Your rule, you should know already, is times 1,000 because 1 times blank equals 1,000. You're trying to find your rule, and you know 1 times 1,000 equals 1,000. So if I multiply 14 times 1,000, it'll give me my answer. So what's 14 times 1,000? Well, you know I cover up my zeros and I do 14 times 1. So I get 14. Then I have to add my 3 zeros back in. So my answer is 14,000 milliliters. All right, my friends, now that we have done 4 example problems, I think that you are ready to go do these on your own. Your paper looks exactly like you've been working on the past few days. It has the first page, and you're going to choose liters and milliliters. On the second page, it has 6 input-output tables, and you're going to have to convert some of these from liters to milliliters or milliliters to liters. All right, I love y'all so much. Have fun doing this. Bye.